One thing has seemed inevitable in the gaming scene over the last few years, specifically over the last year, and that is Ubisoft being back in the news for failing to reach expectations. Now, they had an earnings call yesterday, which enabled us to be able to see how they did in the last year and how it matched up to their expectations, as well as what are their expectations financially over the next year. And it seems that despite the big 10-cent investment, despite Assassin's Creed Shadows' recent release and relative early success, stockholders are not impressed. And they're not impressed with the future, with the stock dropping 20% more overnight. I swear I show a picture of Ubisoft stock every single month, and it is always in the red, bro. Lock in. So starting off, this article is on CNBC titled Assassin's Creed maker Ubisoft plunges almost 20% as outlook fails to impress, and this is by Ryan Brown. So jumping into it, it sank almost 20% on Thursday after the French video game firm reported full year earnings that disappointed investors. They reported a 20.5 drop in net bookings for the fiscal year ending in March 31st, 2025, as strong performance of company's latest Assassin's Creed game did little to boost its full year sales. Net bookings, this is a key point, is not their revenue. Net bookings is their signed contracts minus the deferred contracts, and that's basically going to show you future revenue potential. Now, it also says Assassin's Creed Shadows was released in March following 2 consecutive delays. So basically, despite them delaying the game and despite the success of Assassin's Creed Shadows, investors are not seeing potential for the future in regards to bringing in revenue. Moving on here, Ubisoft cited lower than expected partnerships for the decline in net bookings, which totaled 1.85 billion euros, about $2.1 million. The company also reported an operating loss of 15.1 million euros for the year, which again would be more in USD. The game maker's full year 2025 to 2026 outlook also failed to impress. The firm said it sees net bookings for the current fiscal year being stable year on year, and that it expects to break even on a non-IFRS operating income basis. Ubisoft shares closed down 18.32% at a price of 9.55 euros. Now, if you don't know what non-IFRS operating income is, this is basically their operating income in the next year that is going to be minus some of those random one-time things that aren't consistent from year to year. When you're a company like Ubisoft and you're continuously going down and down and down and not hitting the expectations that you think you're going to hit, saying that you're going to be stable with net bookings when those were already lower than expected for the previous year by over 20%, and then also saying you expect to break even on your non-IFRS operating income, this is not exciting to investors. This is not telling them you are going to make money this year. Now, moving on into the last bit of the article here, the company's shares have lost almost 60% of their value in the past 12 months, as the firm faced financial struggles, development hurdles, and underperformance of some of its key titles. What are these key titles? Star Wars Outlaws and Skull and Bones, with Skull and Bones being a dreadful video game in my opinion. Granted, Ubisoft has still continued to develop future updates for this game. You can finally go on land and fight on land in the next update. Not sure if it's out or not yet. But this most likely is not Shadows. Shadows, from what we know, did relatively well. It was their second highest selling Assassin's Creed game out the gate behind Valhalla. However, development hurdles definitely links to Assassin's Creed Shadows. This game was delayed multiple times. Their incompetency to recognize Japanese culture in the right way in the game stirred up a lot of controversy. The whole putting Yasuke in the game, is he a samurai, is he not a samurai? I have absolutely no idea personally, but this definitely stirred up controversy, which I think pushed some people away from the game, or at least made them push the game back and try to make the game as polished as possible. And in my opinion, it did come out polished, and it did end up doing well, and a lot of Assassin's Creed players were begging for a game in Japan for the longest time. Now, in regards to financial struggles, we knew this was happening. Obviously, their stock has been dropping over the past year, and a lot of the whole Tencent rumors of them either investing a large investment or potentially even buying out Ubisoft stemmed from these financial struggles over the past couple years and them not hitting expectations on a lot of their video games. The article does go on to say, in March, Ubisoft, which we know, revealed plans to form a new gaming subsidiary, part owned by Chinese technology giant Tencent. The new unit will be responsible for developing and publishing its top game franchises, including Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Tencent will invest 1.16 billion euros in the subsidiary, giving it a 25% stake, with Ubisoft retaining majority ownership and earning royalties on sales related to its key franchises. The game maker said Wednesday that it expects the deal to conclude by end of 2025, so this obviously has not concluded yet. So as you can see, Ubisoft is still in a bit of trouble here. Assassin's Creed Shadows was not the savior of Ubisoft like I'm sure they were hoping, despite, at least in my opinion, being better than I expected it to be. I think those delays definitely helped it, but probably hurt them financially, with this game having to be pushed back multiple months and having all of those controversies leading up to the release. But in my opinion, I'm happy that they went back to the more classical stealth format of what the original Assassin's Creed games were. They did get away from Odyssey and Valhalla a bit. The game was also a much more polished game than most Ubisoft games, at least that I have played, because of that extra development time. The problem is they still can't get away from that open world Ubisoft go POI, go to another POI formula that has grown stale over the years. Honestly, it grew stale multiple years ago for me. The story was also locked behind a DLC. The end of the game wasn't really the end of the story, which is a big bummer for a lot of people excited for the story. These characters weren't really able to be related to because a lot of their story points were locked behind side missions that I think would have been very important to include in the main story. They also still have those RPG mechanics, which I don't think they do them better than any actual true RPGs. In my opinion, just make Assassin's Creed Shadows an action game like it used to be. But besides that, the game still impressed me. The way it looked, the way it ran, the way the stealth combat was and felt was very good. And I think it's a good ground point and a good basis for them to grow on in the future. So we'll have to see how that works. There's a lot of Assassin's Creed games upcoming, a ton of them. They also have a Prince of Persia remake coming for Sands of Time that I'm very excited about. A apparent new World War II IP that could be relatively interesting. They have a remake for Splinter Cell upcoming. I think Rainbow Six is going to be on mobile soon. And then you obviously have new Far Cry games, Ghost Recon, I believe The Division 3 in the future, and things like that. So there's a lot of things coming for Ubisoft that could be good if they continue, hopefully, to improve their quality of games game after game. I just don't see that happening with them kind of going down in quality or just staying so consistent that it feels like they're never improving in quality over the years. Also, I hate the Animus Hub, the Call of Duty HQ type launcher for Assassin's Creed. That is just a waste of development, in my opinion. Also, what are you doing with all those NFT games? Why are you just shadow releasing NFT games? It's insane. So who knows what's going to happen with Ubisoft? We'll keep an eye on it going into this next year and into 2026. Are they going to make games like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which are a little bit lower cost, but games that are actually very damn good? Unfortunately, they let go of that development team, but we'll see what ends up happening. I have heard some people on Twitter say that they might let go of some people. I hope they don't do layoffs. I hate when layoffs happen for any company, but we're going to have to see. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think is going to happen. Are you excited for some of their upcoming releases, or are you not excited? Do you think they're going to fail and not continue to at least improve a little bit by little bit and end up not being a company at all anymore and end up failing completely? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe if you liked what you see here. If you are one of my returning viewers, thank you guys for the support as always. Like this video if you liked the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!